Welcome back to Heads Up SA, where we break down the real stories behind the headlines. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss a beat. Former President Jacob Zuma has once again shaken South Africa's foreign policy foundations, this time by aligning his MK party with Morocco's controversial autonomy plan for Western Sahara, a bold move that puts him in direct opposition of the ANC's long-held position. While the ANC has consistently supported full independence for Western Sahara and the Polisario Front, Zuma's MK party is throwing its weight behind Morocco's proposal, one that offers limited self-rule but under Moroccan sovereignty. Zuma argues Morocco's plan reflects historical and legal realities, promotes regional stability, and he points out is backed by powers like the US, UK, and Spain. He even credited Morocco for its historical support during South Africa's anti-apartheid struggle.
We believe that you must have a feeling of our thinking about what Africa should be and the relationship and all of us coming together.
But back home, ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula wasn't pulling any punches. Speaking in Cape Town alongside the ANC National Working Committee, Mbalula said, and we quote, "Jacob Zuma has always been a sellout." Yes, he said that, and he didn't stop there. Mbalula dismissed Zuma's foreign policy pivot as a personal political game, saying Zuma is no messiah and accusing him of using MK party to oppose ANC principles for selfish gain.
The recognition of Morocco by Jacob Zuma is not a surprise. Jacob Zuma represents everything that is wrong. That is pursued by sellouts. And that's what it is. We as the ANC, we will fight side by side for the self-determination of the Sahrawi people. We are in solidarity with them, and Morocco must stop the occupation of Western Sahara. Zuma is no messiah. He's a sellout of note. For whatever reason that he's doing all of this, it's no surprise to us. The very decision to steal the assets of the ANC to form a political party and call it what it is, to divide our people, weaken the African National Congress for his own personal aggrandizement, is what he has been. He will be remembered for that by history.
The ANC SG also took shots at the MK party's legal action against President Cyril Ramaphosa's decision to place Minister Senzo Mchunu on special leave and the president's move to launch a judicial commission of inquiry into bombshell claims made by General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. Mbalula reminded the media that Zuma himself used commissions of inquiry during his presidency, citing Marikana and the inquiry that ultimately removed Bheki Cele as police commissioner. So, according to Mbalula, fighting a commission now, that's just inconsistent.
We will not comment on the shenanigans and attempted anarchy that failed, and that was rejected by the people of South Africa. Law-abiding and people who love this country and uphold the rule of law will democracy, which is what President Ramaphosa has done, and that's what we as the ANC support. That what has been raised by the general is now receiving full attention and is being attended to. And South Africans must not forget that such things do and have happened in the past. You will remember the Bulelani Ngcuka saga under President Mbeki, when he was accused that he's a spy. There was a commission of inquiry. When there was Marikana, the same Jacob Zuma, who's encouraging people because of his hatred for President Ramaphosa, encouraging people to march in vain for nothing, established a commission under Marikana which decided that reappear as a commissioner of police must actually step aside.
So is this just political theater or a real shift in South Africa's geopolitical stance? Is Zuma forging a new foreign policy legacy? Or is this simply a vendetta against the ANC that once backed him? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Should South Africa stick with the ANC's Western Sahara stance? Or is it time to reconsider our alliances? This is Heads Up SA, your home for South African politics, power plays and policy twist. Until next time, keep your heads up, SA.
Under the principles of our jurisprudence that guide us, then on the basis of that, you then charge at individuals, and at the same time, the law will then prevail. So there are no shortcuts to this. And this commission has got broad terms of reference to look at the policing in our country and all the allegations and what can be done. After every 3 months, we'll get a preliminary report with specific recommendations, but equally the commission can make recommendation on anyone, on anything, whilst it is in session. That's what is encouraging. And matters now are before the commission, and they will then be processed in that particular context. We support the upholding of the rule of law.
Thank you very much, my sister.
Thank you. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News. Mr. Mbalula, a big vote on the budget appropriation bill coming up in Parliament this week. Are there discussions with your GNU partners to make sure that this doesn't stall? And then related to the Western Cape, this is a troubled province for the party. What have you picked up so far? If you can share perhaps what you have picked up from your engagements over the last 2 days?
Well, we have just started now. Of course, we are here with the sole and purpose not to do the blame game, to look at the state of the organization and strengthen the party. We are not the strongest of parties in the Western Cape. And our preoccupation in terms of this visit is how do we make the ANC a viable alternative and a vibrant opposition in the Western Cape. And we can do that, and we'll do that, working hand in hand with our province here. Yes, of course, in the GNU, every item, like the passing of the budget, is a hurdle, and the engagement will be on with political parties between now and Wednesday in terms of ensuring that we pass the appropriation.
There's selective application of the step-aside rule when it comes to censor.
There's no such a thing as selective application of step-aside rule. Step-aside deals with everyone. Once you appear in court, the step-aside rule will apply. You are arrested, step-aside rule will apply. Here in the ANC, when last did you see people supporting each other like Casey and Jojo going to court with ANC t-shirts? Doesn't apply anymore. You get arrested, you stand on your own. Step-aside rule applies. Those who vulgarize things shamelessly will say that no, the step-aside rule doesn't apply to censor. President have put censor as a competent, independent judge and a panel, judicial commission, like the president have appointed, then we can pass judgment. Let's allow the process to follow. This is what all South Africans look forward to, and then even ourselves, we're looking forward to that. So the principles of our jurisprudence allow that somebody's story must also be listened to. And if there's any wrongdoing on him and all of that, the ANC, in terms of its renewal process, things kick in. There are many ANC leaders and members who are on a step aside, who have nothing like selective justice and at the same time selective application of the rule of step aside on ANC members. There is nothing like that. If you are arrested, you appear before the courts, even before you appear before the courts, once you're arrested, you step aside. So there are many members of the ANC who have actually been affected by this rule. Nobody else. All political parties in this country, you get arrested, you still stay on as a member. They only apply presumption of innocence. They don't apply other rules. The ANC, presumption of innocence, but over and above that, in terms of our constitution, we implement the step aside rule for members of the ANC who are facing challenges of chased by law enforcement. Speaking to you. Tomorrow we will meet and process decisions of what must happen in terms of the reports that come from the regions. We will. There are a number of things which I don't want to. We will give you a feedback about the outcome of that NWC. And the interventions we're going to make in the Eastern Cape. So there is definitely going to be action on issues that are raised to strengthen strengthen the African National Congress in the Western Cape.
Good question. Sophie would like to know if the meetings of the formal liberation movement.
The formal liberation movement week is this coming week, and it's a big weekend. All the formal liberation movements will be here. As you know that we are chairing the formal liberation movements as the ANC. All presidents of MPLA, SWAPO, Chama Chama Pendus, ZANU-PF, African National Congress, Frelimo will be here. And the Secretary Generals will also be here, followed by the party leagues will all be here, and then to chart the way forward. So this coming weekend enkulu ke le kuthi singumbutho wesizwe olwela inguqu nedaba eMzantsi Afrika. So all liberation movements, not former liberation movements, will be here in Southern Africa. And also there will be other sister parties all over Africa, Algeria, and so on, will be here to attend the former liberation movement option. I've heard people saying, we have heard, like all South Africans, that the easy route is for people to be arrested, but you don't arrest people without evidence. This is not a banana republic. Things must be processed, and then once processed, under the principles of our jurisprudence that guide us, then on the basis of that, you then charge at individuals, and at the same time, the law will then prevail. So there are no shortcuts to this. And this commission has got broad terms of reference to look at the policing in our country and all the allegations and what can be done. After every 3 months, we'll get a preliminary report with specific recommendations, but equally the commission can make recommendation on anyone, on anything, whilst it is in session. That's what is encouraging. And matters now are before the commission, and they will then be processed in that particular context. We support the upholding of the rule of law.
Thank you very much, my sister.
Option.